I've never done an IG video before or vlog or whatever, but tonight just feels like I need to have a conversation. So if blood gives you the heebie-jeebies, if talking about menstruation makes you feel weird, which I don't know. I understand it for some folks who that might trigger feelings for, but if you're a cis dude and that just feels weird for you to like listen about menstruation, then like, anyways. So I have PCOS, and for those of you who don't know what that means, it means I have polycystic ovarian syndrome. Oh, by the way, I'm going to be taking off my makeup and getting ready to take a shower. You know, just the real life things. Anyways, so polycystic ovarian syndrome, which basically means that I have lots of cysts all over my ovaries, and it makes it hard to do lots of different things. And one of the things that it kind of makes, not kind of, it really does make things worse in terms of your period and how heavy you bleed and all of that good stuff and how often. So usually I'll get my period like once every couple of months. Sometimes it's regular, sometimes it's not. But you know, welcome. You never know what's going to happen. Usually I have like 2 weeks worth of cramps and I pass out for my cramps because they're really intense. And this is a sob story, but it's more like, let's be realistic with the things that are happening with our bodies. And also there's probably tons of people like me who are dealing with this and maybe don't have often conversations about what it means to have PCOS. So, I also work in colleges, and I'm a lecturer or instructor, and tonight I was working at a prison that I work at where I teach public speaking and interpersonal communication, and I knew that today is the second day of my period, so it was going to be a heavy flow. I'm going to have really bad cramps, all that good stuff. So I prepared. I was ready for this moment. I was wearing the same outfit I posted in my boomerang video, but basically a dress and some tights. And underneath the tights, I was obviously wearing underwear, and then, well, not obvious, I guess, but, and shorts that I always wear because my thighs really love each other and they enjoy touching and all that good stuff. So I was like, I'm going to wear this overnight pad during the day because I know that things are going to happen. So I'm wearing my pad, and I'm also wearing my Lynette cup because it's been life-changing. And we can talk about that in a different video. But anyway, so I'm like, I am ready. I am like doubled up. It's going to be super good. There's going to be no linking action. Also, this is hair dye. Hi, blue hair. Hi, blue hair. Anyway, so I'm like, I'm prepared. Like, it's fine. So my class that I teach at the prison is an hour and 15 minutes long, and I was like, okay, cool. Like, I don't need to change anything. I'm going to be set for this hour 15, even on the second day. Like, it should be fine. So 3 groups do the presentations. We're in the last like 7 minutes of class, and I've been sitting at the back of the class this whole time. And I stand up to get them into their next activity that they're going to do. And when I stand up, I feel this like waterfall, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting, but it should be fine. It should be fine. I look down, and there is a puddle of blood under my feet, and I'm like, what the fuck? So there's a puddle of blood, and so I just like kind of step on top of it and like crisscross my legs, and I'm like, everything's fine. And I think on the spot, I'm like, okay, this is a class full of men, and periods are super stigmatized. Menstruation is super stigmatized and shamed, and I didn't want to have the conversation right then in this moment, as I'm also like having a mental breakdown. So I basically tell them, I'm like, okay, change of plans. You're all gonna face the opposing wall, and in your groups, you're just gonna like talk about the positive things that happened today. You're gonna have an open conversation with your group and support them, make them feel good, make them feel like their presentations were great because they were all really great. And as they're doing that, they're super confused because they're like, wow, this feels like a drill. Like, what are we doing? And I'm like, it's fine. Everything's fine. Everything is fine. So I call one of the students who is like a clerk for the class and knows kind of like the run of the show. And I'm like, hey, so I need you to do two things. First thing is I need a stack of paper towels. And he's like, okay. And I'm like, mm-hmm. And I'm like, the second thing is I need you to run out and get the person who is the escort for the evening. So that's like the person who takes me on a golf cart to the classes and kind of like runs the show while I'm teaching the class. And so he's like, okay. So he runs out there, he runs back. And meanwhile, I'm just standing there like, it's no big deal. Bottle of blood, but it's fine. Like, we're fine. So he comes back and he's like, here's paper towels. Is everything okay? I'm like, everything's fine. And he's like, so I didn't see so-and-so out there. Like, what, do you need to call her extension? And I'm like, oh, yeah, but the phone is all the way in the front of the class. And I'm like, could you do that? Not thinking like how stupid that is in terms of like the incarcerated population do not get rights at all within prison. And so he's like, I can't do that. But like, how about, I'm just going to wait outside. And like, I'll find her. And I'm like, okay. So everyone's still facing the front of the class. And I just take a bunch of paper towels and I put them on the floor and I like boot scoot on top of them like, and I'm still standing there. Finally, the escort comes in and she's like, what's going on? Can I help you? And I'm like, okay, so standing in a puddle of blood, I need to get out of here. And she's like, okay. I'm like, can you grab the bag so I can skedaddle? And she's like, okay, great. Here's my keys. Like, okay. Grab my bag. I'm like, everything's just like clenched. I'm lucky that I have big thighs because they were like the dam of whatever was happening. So I'm like, out of the class. And I get to the bathroom, and this is where the trigger warning is going to come in for mentions of blood. So I get into the bathroom, I sit on the toilet, and it's like, Carrie times 700. It's just wild how much my body was wanting to produce. Like, just so much. So basically, things run fine. I basically just tried to dab up all the blood that was on my tights and my underwear and my shorts that I was wearing because I'm at a prison and I don't have a cell phone. I don't have anything really with me. I don't have a change of clothes. My car is like 3 miles away from where I'm at and I don't have access to leaving. And so I'm like, I just kind of got to work on the fly. And so I put a bunch of paper towels in my shorts and I'm like, this is going to be fun. And I drove home after leaving the prison, sitting on top of a beach towel that I luckily had in my backseat. And I just really wanted to have this conversation because it's comical. Also because I don't understand how these things happen to me. I really don't. It's really confusing to me, but it's fine. Because I'm sure that there's gotta be somebody who's reading this, watching this, or listening to this and thinking to themselves like, yeah, I've been here. And I think that's the importance of social media for me, and the importance of being vulnerable and sharing our really ridiculous stories is that there's got to be someone out there who can relate to this and will laugh at it and also maybe cry a little bit because it's something that they've experienced. And if you've never experienced the feeling of like bleeding through your shorts, bleeding through whatever it might be, the whole situation is it's just like you don't know what to do because our society is so shitty and we have such shitty understandings of menstruation. We have really shitty understandings about who is affected by that and who is not. And we don't have good conversations. So, if it was my bloody nose, I'd just be like, hey, I have a bloody nose. Like, no worries. Everything's fine. Which now that I'm thinking about it would be a great cover because then the puddle of blood on the floor would make sense. Keeping that in my mind for the next time this happens because it will happen again. So, all I'm trying to say is just just kind of be honest with yourself and live through these moments and use them to build a community. And if you have heavy menstruation or heavy periods or just any stories, please share them with me, because I want to build this community and kind of be there for each other. And I hope that if you watch this, you get a feel for maybe who I am or what's happening. But I'm going to take a shower because it's fun down there right now, and I'm ready to just lay in bed and forget about everything that just happened. Okay, anyways, great. Thanks for the talk. Thanks, IG, for having this TV function. Tune in for the next time when I feel like I'm going to talk about something. My goal was that my first time I would vlog would be like super sophisticated and be like hey, look at this new haul of clothing that I have. And but you know what? That's not how life works. And so here I am. So anyways, I will talk to you all later. I hope you have a great evening, and I hope that this feels relatable. Okay, bye.